10, 11, 12, 13, 14, we're ready to record the Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show. The Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show. Welcome to Thursday's edition of the Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show. Got a couple of exclusives for you. I've got one exclusive for you. It's quite interesting news. Let's get straight into the news with a little swishy swish of a transition. Alright, so picking up on yesterday's story about the Wahoo kicker bike, there was a few unanswered questions. I saw them in the comments last night, and one of the questions was, what the hell is the price? Now, we've only got one price at the minute, which is $3,499 US. Now, as a straight conversion, that's around 2,800, 2,900 British pounds. But there could potentially be additional markup on that. There could be additional taxes on that. So at the minute, we don't know any other prices other than the American one, which is $3,499. Now, in a little bit of an exclusive here at the Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show, we're still unsure on those shipping dates. However, I know when they're getting shipped. You can be looking to get your kicker bike as early as 2022. So we've only got to wait a couple of, I'm joking. October, they start shipping in the US. Worldwide, we're still waiting on confirmation of that. But if you live in America, you can get yours as early as, I guess, as early as October. I'm thinking if they're going out in October in the US, fulfill all those orders, make sure they're all right, then I guess, potentially, hopefully, we could be looking early 2020 for us, so maybe January or February if all goes to plan. Hopefully I'm going to get one a little bit sooner. Yeah, I was having a thought as well, right? If I get one here, do you think I should just open my door one day and say, hey, come on in? I mean, if you're not a troll and you can pass the stringent security checks, because the office is obviously at my house, what do you think should have like a CyclingHub open day where you can just come along and test it out? Because my Zwift rig is pretty legit, and it'd be just nice to get people in and test the bike out. Obviously, it's going to be out of a lot of people's price range, and there might not be actually many places to test it, but I don't know, it's just a thought. If I can get hold of one and we can get it in the studio here, would you be interested in coming around to ride it? Let me know down below. Now, sticking with Eurobike and exclusives from Eurobike, SRM, the gold standard when it comes to power meters, have quietly launched their brand new smart bike. And with good reason too. Because it costs 5,000 euros plus VAT. The SRM Smart IT is fully integrated and claims plus or minus 1% accuracy. I should bloody hope so. It's SRM, the gold standard. But I don't understand this one whatsoever. It's hard to actually find a good solid chunk of details on this. This is not SRM's first smart bike. They've already released the indoor trainer electronic, but it is a bit of a step up from that. But still, I do not understand where this sits anywhere, because obviously SRM also make the ergometer bike, which is the gold standard when it comes to testing. I've used one at the Institute of Sport. Various universities have them for testing, and it is seen as one of the best when it comes to testing rigs. But this new smart bike thing, it's just, well, I don't know, I don't get it. There's already people saying that the Wahoo kicker bike that does everything, I mean everything, is too expensive at $3,499. This one's almost $2,000 on top of that. And what do you get for your money? Well, you get SRM's most basic power meter to begin with. Yes, very accurate still, but still their most basic of power meters, and you get what looks to me like a 1980s training rig. This is old school in design, and obviously, as you can see from the picture, they're using much more of an old school drivetrain there. So you've got the standard chain ring, you've got the cassette on the back, and you're using a rear derailleur, so you can shift between gears. So some people might prefer that old school feel of being able to actually physically change gears, rather than what you get on the Watt Bike Atom or the brand new Wahoo kicker bike. But I can't help thinking that this stuff is going to wear out a lot quicker than the stuff you find in the other smart bikes as well. So you're going to be replacing these components. So you've already paid top dollar for a very old school looking bike, then you've got to replace the parts a lot sooner than you probably would on other smart bikes. Who is it aimed at? Where is it aimed? Because if you are testing, you're probably going to go down the ergometer route. Obviously a lot more expensive than that, but still, you're getting gold standard, you're getting the best kind of power meters, the most accurate power meters within there. And this doesn't really sit in the consumer market because it's just so goddamn expensive. Also, it weighs a ton, and it takes up a lot of space. So, I mean, I don't want to poo-poo it because I love SRM. Like I said, gold standard when it comes to power meters, but you'd be just as well buying their most expensive power meter to get the best accuracy you can, putting that on your bike, buying a kicker, and still having $1,000 worth of change to do whatever you want with. I don't get it. Please, someone in the comments below, let me know. SRM's brand new Smart IT smart bike. Did they just forget to bring it out 10 years ago? Next up, and let's talk racing news. Let's catch up on all that happened yesterday in La Vuelta. And unless you were in the breakaway, it was a pretty easy stage, to be fair. Jumbo-Visma pretty much dominated the peloton. They just held the gap wherever they wanted. The gap reached a maximum of around 16 minutes with around 25 kilometers to go. There was no chance that that break was ever coming back. If you were in that breakaway, the chances are you had a brilliant race. It looked like a hell of a lot of fun in that breakaway. There was attacks going all over the place. But the decisive break came at 24 kilometers to go when Mathieu attacked on his own and just left them for dead. And at one point, two riders got within only a couple of seconds of him. I think it got down to around 9-10 seconds when Lastra and Cavagna both worked together to try and chase him down, but to no avail. And even coming into the last K, it looked like he might actually get caught. There wasn't much in it, but thankfully he took a huge victory, his first ever professional win. Let's move across now to the women's pro peloton, and the Boels Ladies Tour got underway 2 days ago now with a prologue. And unsurprisingly, Annemiek van Vleuten, well, did what she does best. She won. Van Vleuten took victory in the 3.8 kilometer prologue with a time of 5 minutes and 4, and she was 6 seconds faster than Lisa Klein. Lucinda Brown was in third position, 7 seconds behind, but one rider who could have challenged her, but didn't, was European time trial champion Ellen van Dijk, who fell into a dike.
There's a happy place for everyone.
They didn't think they'd get this far.
Stage 1 came down to a big bunch sprint, and it was the two Dutch sprinters who went head to head for the victory, Christine Wild and Lorena Wiebes. And it was the national champion Lorena Wiebes who took victory for Park Hotel Valkenburg. She lays second on GC now. Annemiek van Vleuten is still in that leader's jersey. However, with the parkour as it is for the Boels Ladies Tour, there's no big long time trial and there's no real hilly stages. She's on borrowed time with that leader's jersey, but who's going to take it off her? Let's find out tomorrow when we cover stage 2, if I remember. Sticking with racing news, and let's talk transfers now. Now, I briefly mentioned it yesterday, but Nairo Quintana on the rest day of La Vuelta confirmed his move to Arkea Samsic.
Bonjour, Arkea Samsic. Bonjour, Arkea Samsic. Bonjour, Arkea Samsic.
Yeah, I mean, we already knew it. But look at the other riders going there with him. He's taking Dea Quintana, his brother. You've got Diego Rosa, who's coming from Team Ineos across to Team Arkea Samsic. You've also got Winner Anacona moving from Movistar. Arkea Samsic clearly building a team around Quintana, and that's what I think he needs. He needs a team around him to say, hey, we're all in it for you. Not this that they've got here at Movistar at the minute. I mean, yes, someone left a comment saying, you know, having Movistar doing what they're doing with the tactics that they're doing, it's making the racing really exciting. But as a GC rider, as a team leader, you want to know that your team is fully behind you 100%. You don't want to be second guessing anybody, thinking that they're going to be going off on the attack, telling the press that, you know what, I'm feeling good, so I'm going for it, I'm going to be GC leader. You need that solid foundation, and I think at Arkea Samsic, he's going to get that. Other notable transfers, again, we spoke about this earlier in the year, it's officially confirmed Richard Carapaz is moving from Movistar and he's going to Team Ineos. And a couple of riders who have extended their contracts into 2020 include Owain Doull, Chris Lawless and Ivan Sosa. They're all staying at Team Ineos for at least another year. Lucy van der Haar, she's extended her contract over at High Tech Products. Visconti extends his contract. Emanuele Viti, he extends his contract at Movistar. And Hugo Huller has extended his contract over at Astana. Next up, Mathieu van der Poel has announced he's going to be targeting the Tokyo 2020 mountain bike race as his best chance of winning a gold medal. Now, Van der Poel originally said he's going to be racing both the mountain bike and the road race. However, with the schedule changing the way it has, both races are just too close and he had to make a decision. Was it going to be the road race or the mountain bike race? And he's decided to go with the mountain bike race because he feels that he has a better chance of winning that than he does the road race. Speaking to a Dutch newspaper, Van der Poel said, "It is far too difficult, see. My participation in the road race at the games is just not an option. I thought about it for a while, but that was at an early stage, when the first date showed that there was a bigger gap between the road race and the mountain bike event. According to the latest scheduling, the races are only 2 days apart, so it's the mountain bike race first, followed by the road race. So potentially he could still race that road race, whether it's for himself or whether it's for somebody else. I'm sure he can provide support, because don't forget, that mountain bike race is not like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's not like it's a 6-hour affair. That mountain bike race is what, an hour and a half, something like that, potentially 2 hours. So yes, it's going to take a lot out of him, but we're talking about Mathieu van der Poel here. He could still provide, and potentially, come on, let's be honest, he could potentially still win that. Yes, it is hilly, but still, he could provide a lot of support for the other Dutch riders who potentially might be going for that Olympic gold medal. So I don't know, but right now I doubt the Olympics are even on his mind. He's solely focused on that World Championships in Yorkshire in a couple of weeks' time. And don't forget, the Tour of Britain is starting at the weekend. He's going to be over here racing, getting a feel for the British roads, probably doing a bit of a recce while he's here of the World Championship course. And recently he told the press that he is clearly one of the favourites for this World Championship. I will of course be among the big favourites at the World Championships. I can agree with that. It's not illogical after my spring on the road. Now, a lot of people have made the comparisons between the Yorkshire World Championship course and that of the Amstel Gold Race, in which he won back in the spring, hence why people are saying that he is the clear winner. But when they spoke to Van der Poel about the course, he said, I don't know much about it outside the bridge that collapsed, which got into the media, but I think it's the kind of course for an Amstel Gold Race type of rider. So I understand why they're putting me amongst the favourites, eh? Now, in the past 10 years, there hasn't been a rider outside of the World Tour that's won a World Championship. So can Mathieu van der Poel be that first person to not only win it outside of the World Tour, but with a continental team? Who knows? I mean, he's clearly the favourite. There are some other riders in there, Ben Swift, who I still think are capable of winning it, but literally the whole world thinks that Mathieu van der Poel will win it. And he's got a really good chance, but you just never know in these kind of races. It's a long, arduous race. For me personally, yes, the parkour might be more Amstel Gold style, but don't forget, this is like 248? It's 285 kilometres. Listen, what do I know? What do I know about the World Championship course? So in terms of distance, it's got more of a Milan-San Remo feel to it. But in terms of parkour, it's much more like the Amstel Gold Race. I guess ultimately it's all going to come down to how the race plays out. If you think back to 2012, when Mark Cavendish was favourite to take Olympic gold medal, it never materialised because everybody knew he was such a big favourite that they refused to work with them, and GB ended up doing all the work, burning out all the riders and ultimately never catching the break. I think Vinokourov ended up winning the gold medal. Is something like that going to play out here at the Worlds? With Mathieu van der Poel being such a favourite to take this, are they going to give them any leeway? Or is Van der Poel, is he that strong that he can do it on his own? There was no way that Mark Cavendish could ever chase down a break, and he was never going to. But with Van der Poel, he can do it all. But is that distance going to cause him a problem? The fact that it's so long, do you think he's going to have the engine to get to the end? And how much work is he going to have to put in to get there at the front, at the end? Who's going to win? In fact, I don't want your predictions just yet. Let's get predictions when we're a bit closer to the date. Alright, and sticking with the World Championships, and it's just been announced that Egan Bernal is going to be taking part in his first ever road race World Championships here in Yorkshire. Obviously, he's going to be representing Colombia, and that got me thinking, right? Colombians bloody love cycling. There's a good chance we're going to have a massive influx of Colombians now over the next couple of weeks here in Yorkshire. So I thought here on the Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show, we'd take a moment to help those Colombians and any foreigners coming over for the Yorkshire World Championships and give you a quick lesson in Yorkshire slang.
You f***ing dickhead!
Alright, so let's start with some basic greetings. Alright, hey up, how they doing? Now then, can all be used for simply saying hello. Thank you in Yorkshire is simply ta. And if you wish to say goodbye to somebody, it's simply sidet or tara. Now let's take a look at a few phrases. Biri, meaning it'll be okay. Bagsy having a croggy, that means I'll be the next person taking a backie from that person on that bike. Bagsy having a croggy. Next up, and my personal favourite, is in bog, which means he is in the toilet facility. Hey, sup we here? Sup we here? Translates roughly to, oh no, what is wrong with her? And if you hear anybody using this phrase, they're not from Yorkshire. E by gum. E by gum, which roughly translates to, I'm from the south, but I'm trying to be funny. Alright, so hopefully that's got a bit more knowledge when it comes to Yorkshire slang now, and they can actually understand what people are saying from Yorkshire when they arrive here next week, alright? Alright, guess that's another video done and dusted. If they've enjoyed it, hit that like button. If there's not, hit that dislike button. I don't mind. Just make sure that leaves a comment down below, letting me know that they all rate, alright? Until tomorrow, Side. Eish.